healing. So I would suggest that you free that up, especially because you're already seeing some things.
And real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt. The healing's already there. It's not one and done. It's in your central nervous system. It's in your system.
Right.
So it hasn't left.
So how can I help the work and be more open to it, or tune into those resonances?
This is where Jill comes in.
So as far as your central nervous system goes, I'm going to say this to Pete because then he might know how to adjust it in you. What I feel is like a putter. So it's not fully open. There's sludge in there in his central nervous system.
Yeah, well, I already know what the problem is then from what you said, yeah.
Okay. So then can you do another session with him to unsludge him? Sorry, Paul. I'm not meaning to negatively, but it's what I feel.
No, definitely. I mean, I have to be at the office to do this because the way I do this is I just don't think about it. Like when I worked on Paul, when I worked on you, I used the massage table that I use for this work. It's just like you're lying there. And I go through the process. Okay, I'm standing at the feet. Okay, and then I check. Okay, I do this. She's going to lie on her right side. I'm now contacting the left transverse process of her atlas with my right middle finger. Okay, is that adjusted? Yes, and I go back and check. So I go through the whole protocol like the person is lying there.
Right.
So I have to go through the whole thing. But what I would do is I would go back and check because there's still a little bit of interference in that. There would still be a little bit of interference in the central nervous system, in the tuning or the tone of the central nervous system. So that would be easy enough to check and remove, and then to follow that up, I would follow it up with the new and improved statement while I'm doing the contacts.
Now, there's something else I feel off in Paul, and Jim, you may be able to, because Pete doesn't see me right now. What's this area right here? Do you have any headaches? Are you dealing with any headaches or pressure in your head, Paul?
Nothing
about
specific, but I've had...
Other than that.
I've had a lot of insomnia for the last, 6 years.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So I don't know if that
sludge removal will help that. I'm feeling something. What's this part of the head, Jim? What is this called?
The top.
You don't learn that term until your third year of school, so you're very privy to that information.
I went to graduate school for that one.
Yeah, exactly. I got to grab a thesaurus.
Would it help if I said sagittal?
Yeah.
It's vertex. It's on the very top. It's on very, very much on the. Or are you just to the side of it?
I'm not sure.
The sagittal suture.
I'm looking at Paul and I see it on the right side, so it's probably his left side, but I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure.
Well, you just told me something right there. What I need to do. There's one more contact that I need to add to finish up the whole shebang, and you just verified that there's one more contact that I need to add back in.
This is how he and I work to develop his system.
Teamwork, remote healing. There you are.
What is it, Jim?
Teamwork, remote healing.
And look, years ago, did you know me when I was a healer of animals? I used to heal animals.
I never actually got to see you at work, but I did hear that at that time.
I was quite.
That was about when Lucky got sick,
and that's
right?
when I stopped.
Yeah.
Because I tried to heal my own dog and he died. I said, screw that. I try to make one withdrawal. Even while I was waiting at the vet's office, there was a cat that I saved. There was a golden retriever that came in with seizures that they didn't think would make it. I saved that dog too, but I couldn't save my own. So I said, then I'm not doing this anymore. So I stopped healing. But I'm not healing. I'm just guiding what I feel is happening in the body. So, Jim, you were making some interesting faces during
I was
some of the
talking to other
discussion.
people. Sorry.
Oh, all right. Okay. So, all right. You guys, Paul and Pete, will re-coordinate a time where you can work. And next time, I would like to get an update from you, Paul. Other than that, let me just scan your whole body real quick and just see if there's anything else.
Oh, look, his ears are glowing.
See, now what am I doing right now? I scan his body. Is this a measurable kind of energy? No, this is just an ability.
That's why I don't like to call it energy by itself. If you say we want a healing energy or mental energy or something like that, it's kind of qualifying it the same way the Chinese do with qi. You know, they're talking about.
I always just call it energy, but maybe I'll call it healing energy or something.
Okay.
But I call it energy.
Or you could use the Einstein term, spooky energy.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be appropriate for me.
That was how we referred to quantum mechanics.
Can you imagine me saying to clients, all right, now I'm working with your spooky energy to tell you if Joe is still in love with you. Yeah, right. All right. So Paul, lower comes down around the ankle on the left foot. Something down there feels stuck. Do you have any issues going on there, Paul?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Pete, can you see that? Can you check that out and see what that is that I'm picking up?
Well, just by saying the foot, the first thing that comes to mind is some sort of a grounding issue, which is easy enough to rectify.
And what did I say to you the other day, Pete?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. No, I'm kidding.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
No, you said I wasn't. You said I wasn't grounded.
Right. So I would say perhaps both of you should work on that. And what's a very powerful way to ground? You told me, Pete, a way I didn't know.
Well. Once again, the way you talked about, like just putting your hand on a tree or walking barefoot outside.
That's what
or
I
somebody
do.
else,
Right.
Or somebody else had told me a good way to do it is to just with both hands grab the edge of a sink and just stand there, because the sink is connected to the ground. You know, the sink has a lot of metal elements in it and it's connected to the ground. And that was her thing. What they do with her stuff, she's a radionics practitioner, and that was her thing, was just putting both hands on the edge of the sink and standing there to ground oneself.
I see, that was news to me. I mean, I think that one of the most powerful ways to ground is if you say walk on the beach, you know, and let you're at the edge of the water, so the ocean is hitting your feet, or even in a creek, and you're dealing with stones and you're dealing with dirt and you're dealing with water. Those are very powerful ways to ground. There are NIH studies that talk about the healing effects of grounding, including, I don't know if I want to use the word resolving or healing or helping things like AFib and different things of that nature. So the effects of grounding.
And that's why that's why they sell grounding mats that you sleep on.
Right. I actually have a grounding mat, but when the dogs were puppies, they kept on chewing the attachment thing. So I eventually said, the heck with this, and I don't know where it is anymore. I got to get a new one. But I had one for the bed that I would sleep on, and I'd plug it in next to the bed, and they'd chew it. They were puppies then.
Well, obviously they needed to be grounded too.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So traditionally, hematite is used as a really good grounding crystal. So it's a stone that you can keep in your pocket. You don't have to go out and do anything. Just get in touch with hematite. It's magnetic. So
I think I have it.
Yeah, you might. It looks like a very dark gray and shiny.
It's a fine powder. Is it?
No,
it's not a powder.
It's a stone. It's a stone.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it could be a powder, but
so it's not a crystal. You don't have to recharge it or anything?
No, you don't. It's already well charged. It's like I said, it's magnetic. So they make necklaces that you can just take apart out of hematite.
I would highly suggest, Pete, that you have one on you.
Yeah.
Especially when you do this kind of work.
A bracelet-like thing would be really nice. What I like to do, we have many very enormous rocks, stones in this area because it's a Lorraine. There was a glacier that used to be in the Hudson Valley and brought a lot of rock down. So these enormous stones, I go and stand on them and just feel the roots of the stones going down deep. There's nothing more grounding than that.
No, right. I agree. And these are all things that for any and every body, I think the healing effects of grounding are incredible. And even for Paul, when he's not playing with his little kitty cat. You want to introduce your cat?
This is Lucy.
Oh, for Lucifer.
She's a fussy girl. Exactly.
It sounds like it.
And very talkative tonight. That reminds me, Mr. LaPlaca. I have to go off subject for the moment. You know what I'm going to ask you, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I do a post. Somebody wants to take me on a motorcycle ride to Highway 666 in Arizona and New Mexico and all these other places. And it's a haunted thing, so I'm all excited about it. So I go to type a post, and all I type in is Highway 666. I was going to type something else, but as soon as I typed Highway 666, a name came up. One of my friends' names came up. And one of those friends' names happened to be, could I say? Paul LaPlaca. So I am trying to figure out what this association is between 666 and Mr. Paul LaPlaca.
Oh, wow! Good thing I have my good thing I'm wearing a tinfoil hat now.
Right? But for those of you in the listening audience, Paul just stuck his horns up with his fingers.
He stuck his horns up.
Look, I was an altar boy. I'm a good Christian boy. I'm a great Catholic.
But how did that happen?
Pleased to meet you. Can you guess my name?
Tell me how that happened.
I have no idea why my name would come up with that highway. No idea.
Jim, would you try just go on Facebook and do a new post, and just type in Highway 666 and see if anything comes up. I mean, that was crazy.
This was a new post in Facebook?
Yeah, so just go on Facebook and do a new post. Just type in Highway 666 and see if anything pops up. Anybody's name. Nothing?
No names are popping up. I'm doing a create a post and nothing.
Interesting.
It's all about you.
What do you mean it's all about me? It wasn't my name that came up.
It's all yours.
I just thought that was interesting. So sorry to go off topic there, but so Pete, I know you don't know where you're headed with this new technique, but I have a question for you. So if a client wants, what do you do when your clients come into your office? Do you do all this hocus pocus stuff, or do you just adjust them, or does it depend on the client?
It depends on the person. Like I did it on somebody today. I only had a few people today's not a day I normally work, but I'm spreading things out a bit. So I did it on a person today. There's not very many people that I do it on. I kind of gauge the, you read the room. So
right.
If there are people that aren't going to be into it, that's not what they're looking for. Then then I don't do it. And especially if I have people waiting. Like I had, there's two women that come in and they're and they're very religious. And I was doing I didn't do that, but I was doing some of the Ted Korn stuff with with doing the biofeedback, and they weren't comfortable with that. So I said, okay, then I won't do it. Easy enough. There's plenty of other stuff to do, and that's fine. So
they wanted more traditional stuff. Yeah.
Well, no. They were actually they were scared of it. They were scared of it.
They wanted more traditional stuff rather than some of this little bit.
Yeah, well, I still do the dural. I do the dural. I do the dural work, and I do the Atlas, but I don't do any biofeedback stuff. I do stuff that they're comfortable with, and it works for them, and they're happy, and that's all that counts.
I have one other question that I want to ask you, and then I want to talk. I want to also take some calls because I know we have a bunch of callers. But I forget what it's called. It's a chiropractic technique that works with the Atlas, that Orga something or other.
Atlas orthogonal.
Right. Now, that instrument that they use, isn't that a sound instrument?
So I'm not sure exactly how that works. I believe it is. It is. They have a stylus. I've seen it done before. I met the chiropractor who developed that technique, since deceased. He was a South African chiropractor named Dr. Roy Sweat. I met him when I was going to school out in Iowa. And I'm not exactly sure how the stylus works. I don't know enough about it. But
I had it done once. And it is like a whistle sound. It's like a high pitched, almost like I don't know how to explain it. But it's a sound. It is definitely a sound. And I was trying to explain to Jim before the show, like I thought they applied it somewhere here where I thought my Atlas was, and he said no, that was something muscle. And the Atlas is really behind.
She's pointing to the mastoid process behind her ear.
Right. Yeah. A lot of times the Atlas can get stuck up under there. A lot of times.
I mean, if the Atlas moves that far, it'll sever the spinal cord.
It feels like your head is in a vice. I've had that many times. And you have to have that adjusted.
It feels like it's stuck up under there, but that's a lot of muscular tension, which is obviously pulling both the mastoid process down and the Atlas up, and then usually on that side, because the SCM attaches to the mastoid, and that's going to be real tight.
Yeah.
But where is it where is the Atlas then? Where do they adjust? I thought they adjust like right behind the ear in that area.
No, it's right around. It's right around, like Jim said, right around the mastoid process. It's right around there. But they also take a very complex series of very exacting X-rays, pre and post. So they go by the X-rays to know exactly where they need to put the stylus.
Yes. I mean, they did that, and he said it moved. I don't remember what the fraction of an inch was, but he was delighted at what happened. The only problem is when you leave there, you can't move your head, you can't do anything, and I had to drive 2 hours to get home. So, I didn't bother keeping up with it because it didn't really make sense for me. But a lot of people, I am a firm believer, if your Atlas is out, nothing else in your body will be in.
Well, as I said, there's 5 or 6 different chiropractic techniques. That's all they adjust. That's it. As a matter of fact, going back to when I was talking about cranial release, one of the people that helped him out with his stuff was a guy, and I can't remember Kurt Brenstrup. He was a chiropractor, or he is a chiropractor, but he was a technique instructor when I was going to school. And he was upper cervical all the way. And you would ask him about somebody having a problem. What do you think it is? He goes, sounds like an upper cervical problem to me. And but he was very much an upper cervical guy. But he helped out this Dr. Duresti with the cranial release stuff. So it's like, well, obviously it's got to be having some profound effect on the upper part of the neck, the cerebral basilar junction, or else this guy who's a big upper cervical chiropractic guy, I wouldn't be involved in it. So.
You know, what was that technique called again that Kathy used to do in the office? She was a massage therapist, but she had a special technique.
The Paul St. John neuromuscular therapy.
Right, the neuromuscular therapy. I would have the worst neck issues going on. She wouldn't touch my neck. She'd be down at my hip, pressing in at places that would be killing me, and I would be dying of the pain. And then I go, I feel so much better. And by the time I get to Pete, he goes, you don't need any adjustments. I mean, so everything is connected, and really that's really the message that I want to get across here. And Jim, I would like a little bit of your input because you work with Chi, and obviously you're activating Chi in some way, shape, or form when you're doing acupuncture, and it has a healing effect on the body, right?
Yeah. The acupuncture needles are used in several different ways. One of them is to break up blockages. So in Paul's case, for example, with the carpal tunnel, we would be seeing there's a lot of tension moving through the wrist in this area. So we would be releasing muscles up here in the upper arm, near the elbow on the arm, in the lower arm. And that actually loosens up all the connections here and causes carpal tunnel to release. So we've done that a lot, and it's amazed people. In fact, one of my fellow coworkers had carpal tunnel in his thumb. Went to our clinic. I didn't treat him. Somebody else treated him. He was doing it on a lark because he was going to prove to me that acupuncture was crap. And he went and he came back. It's like one of the most detailed scientific kind of guys. Works in electrical engineering. He just looked at this and said, "I don't know what happened. It worked. My carpal tunnel is all gone. What can I say?" So yes, that's breaking up blockages or constrictions that are causing aberrant flows in the chi.
No, real quick. Sorry to interrupt. It's interesting because over the years I've recommended acupuncture for a number of people. They say, "Does it work?" It's like, well, it's only been around about 10,000 years. If it didn't work, it wouldn't have been around about 10 years, let alone 10,000.
Well, more like 3,000, at least as far as we document.
Well, 3,000.
Yeah. But it's still enough.
Well, it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
And it is truly very effective. Yeah, it is truly very effective.
Another thing the needles do is they draw chi. So if you come in with a headache, I'm not going to needle your head because I don't want more chi in your head because you got too much there. So I'm going to be needling your feet. And needling meridians that go through your head and pulling the energy away from your head. Exactly. Right. Some of the work that I do is pure physiology. I had a woman come in who a surgeon had cut the nerve to the palate when he was trying to suture up an artery that was chronically bleeding in her nose, and injured her forever. It felt like all the time, whenever she ate, she could feel the taste, the feeling of burning cheese in the top of her mouth. Like when you have pizza too hot. That feeling, that was all the time for her. And so I started doing stuff right on the nerves. I gave her a little piece of tinfoil with a clip, and I put an acupuncture needle deep into the jaw, the upper jaw, and gave her 15 to 20 minutes of electrostimulation, very gentle electrostimulation through there, went away. So some of the stuff looks just like PT, but physical therapists can't needle, so I get away with that stuff too. And I also do trigger point work. Trigger point work, which is what I did to your neck when you were here.
I was going to say, is that where you go right into the bone?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that
feels really weird.
So that's been a big thing in Pennsylvania with the physical therapists wanting to do dry needling, and then obviously the acupuncture is subjecting to it.
Yeah, it's our lifeblood.
Exactly. There's plenty of other stuff for him to do.
That's right. What?
I'm disappearing for 1 second because the light's coming through. It's reflecting. The sun is setting. It's reflecting on my mirror desk.
I was going to say, don't go to the light, Jill. Don't go to the light.
Just give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back because
right.
I've got to close the blind.
Okay.
I thought, oh, this is a sign from Highway 666.
So, Pete, I'm interested as a sound engineer and a musician. When you talk about the frequencies of these different nerve centers or organs, how do you measure that? How do you know what's at what frequency rate?
Frequency.
That's what because I'm going to get certified in the torque release in September. They have a seminar in Exton, which is like 2 hours from me. So I'm gonna go get that done. And part of doing that is they go over all of this stuff. So you have more exacting data that you can use. So I'm working from a general perspective and going more toward the specific. So.
All right. So when you tuned my nervous system, were you focusing on specific frequencies, or was it more of a general getting things in balance again?
No. What I'm working on is finding areas where different parts of where the central nervous system was under abnormal, could say pathological. Well, I'll just say abnormal. Pathological sounds really bad, but so just an abnormal amount of tension or stress, and then removing that with a particular. It's a very light move. You're not really adjusting anything. You're just putting input into that joint, which in turn helps to reset the tone of the central nervous system. Like I said, in torque release, they use the integrator. I either use my thumb or I use a linear adjusting instrument. But I check: is this going to work? Can I use this? Is this going to work to do this, rather than assuming? And I always get a yes. So I want to make sure what I'm doing is going to be working. Is going to get maximum results for the person that I'm honored to be working with.
And Jim, as a remote healer yourself, does any of this sound familiar to what you do if you're doing remote acupuncture on someone? Is it similar?
Very different format. I learned RMA remote acupuncture style in a class a long time ago, and that involves exactly the same kind of intake that we do with a regular acupuncture meeting. So if you come into my office, I'm going to take your pulses and look at your tongue and talk to you. In this case, I'll be talking, listening, doing as much as I can from remote, and then I'll be using a acupuncture model, like a doll, that has the meridian lines on it.
Like a voodoo doll.
Exactly. Well, this is one of the things, chi, prana, energy, whatever you want to call it. This stuff isn't just for good. It can be used for harm.
Yeah.
And so it literally is the same thing, just with a different intent. But I'll be using the needle, and I'll be talking to the patient on the phone saying, do you sense the sensation of the needle in this area? And when the patient finally responds, yes, I see it, I feel it, then I'll feel like I succeeded in treating that. So very different.
So it's an actual doll that you're using, that, like you said, that has the meridians drawn on it. I think I've seen that with the acupuncturists that I've been to in my area. I think I've seen that before. So
yeah. Well, the doll is everywhere. There's an acupuncturist. They always have one of these dolls. Mine is a woman's body instead of a man's body because I don't feel sexist.
What a contemporary healthcare professional.
Well, we should take a call here before we run out of time. We're
all right.
over an hour into the show.
Okay. So here's Donna. Donna, you there? Donna? I guess she stepped away.
All right, we'll get back to her then.
We'll take Lisa. See if Lisa's here. Lisa? I'm having no luck tonight.
Are you bringing? Do we have anyone else?
I've been trying to get other people to respond. There's callers that are there, but they don't answer when I.
All right.
So
So
hello? Hello, is
Hello.
there? Hi, who's
Yes.
this?
This is Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Can you tell us your story? What's going on?
Well, I have a couple questions. I don't know what kind of question she's answering, but I have a question regarding my automobile. Really?
What's happened to your automobile? Tell us your story.
Well, I'm not really sure. I had a problem with the AC, and I finally seen the third mechanic today, and it's an older car. It doesn't look as if it's going to be an easy fix, so they're really not sure what is going on at this point, and it might be too costly to go on working on it.
What kind of car is it?
It's a 1996 Mercury Sable. It belonged to my parents, and it says a lot of sentimental value, and it's been a good running car. And right now I'm not in a great position to get another car unless it's an incredibly good deal. So I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place there.
Mary, what color is it?
It's like a tan, bronzy color.
Okay. You got it, Jill?
I actually saw a red car, so perhaps that's in our future.
Well, I would hope not, because I have never really wanted a red car. I still don't. So I think that's, I don't know. I have my own ideas about red cars, but
yeah, I'm not crazy about a red car either. I'm not, and I wouldn't have one either. But I'm just telling you what I picked up. So, and who knows? Maybe they'll get a part.
That might be brought to my attention or something. It doesn't mean I won't see one along the way. But
right, or perhaps they're going to end up getting the part from a similar car to yours that ends up being a red car. Right.
If it
right,
shows
because that's exactly.
On your radar, you never know.
Well, that's exactly what was coming up. I do feel that there's two issues going on. Again, I'm not a mechanic, so I can't tell you specifics.
Yeah.
But I do feel there are two issues that are going on with your AC. One is probably something costly and pretty big, and the other is a very simple fix. Very, very simple fix. And they might be able to do the simple fix in getting it to at least function to some degree. I don't know how reliably or how well it's going to function, because I do feel you have an issue, but it comes to as a dual issue, and one of the issues is very simple, something as easy as a charge or something, something minimal. That
kind of run the gamut, I think, and I feel I have a very trustworthy person right now who's been doing this for about 20 years, and he said, I have never reached a roadblock like I have with this car right now. And he's tried a variety of things, and he said, right now I'm really not sure. He said it may involve several
you are now in the host queue.
And frankly, he said, you'd probably just be throwing more money out, and that could go to something, that would be better. So he also buys and sells used cars. He didn't have anything available, but he said, knowing what you want, I will be looking for you to see if anything comes up. I will definitely keep you in mind. He charged me a minor repair charge to do what he could do, and he said, I have consulted with another mechanic that we work on things together, and he could not come up with a solid answer. So we brought it back today, and I've kind of just, I'm kind of lost hope with it. So
right, I understand. I would just like to make a suggestion that whatever kind of car it is, you take it to the dealership. I know they're more expensive, and I'm not saying even have it fixed. Get their input, though, and, just see.
Then they're going to charge me more, and I've already put out for 3 mechanics. So I can't even think of that possibility. And because it's so old, I don't even know, where it was purchased or anything like that. So I probably wouldn't invest in that. But do you see? But the only thing you picked up was a red car. That's all you could really see as far as me finding a way to get another one.
I didn't know. I didn't say that. Jim had said, "What color is your car?" And I mouthed red because that's what I immediately was picking up. I didn't even look at if another vehicle will come up for you that will be affordable and functional for you. My gut feeling is, and I would say even expand your search outside of the guy who's already looking for you. But I feel, if you're able to get, I do feel an opportunity for getting a new car exists for you. It might not be exactly what you would want, and I'm not saying it's going to be a red car, but I'm not getting anything that tells me that you're not going to be able to find either a fix for your air conditioner or a car that will work for you. I'm not getting any negatives on that. So I would say that's in your very near future.
Yeah, I'm feeling like something's really got to give because I can't drive it in over 90-degree heat. I'm just not
understand.
able physically to be out there running around with the car in that shape.
Right. No, I definitely understand. I kind of feel there's going to be a resolution for you, I would say, within the next couple of weeks. I know that sounds like a long time. Usually when I get any information like that, it's usually worst case scenario, a couple of weeks. But I do feel some resolution for you.
And I have to see also, when I find out how much it would cost, I have to see where I could possibly get financing or credit to do it. My credit is good, but I have to see, what I could do. Something affordable monthly, too.
Right. I don't see that as being a big issue for you. It feels that will flow in. It's more finding the right vehicle for you that is affordable for you. I feel you're going to hear something. You could even hear this week or find something this week. But keep your ears and eyes open.
Oh, great. And,
all right.
Okay, I will do that, and I appreciate it. I just have
Thank
one
you.
other...
Thank you, Mary.
Could I ask? Okay.
Good luck.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Who else do we have?
We have a couple of fresh callers that haven't been screened yet. So you want to take a chance?
Yeah, we did with Mary.
Okay. Hi, this is Jim. Who's there? Hello? This number I tried before and no one answered. Try this one. Hello, this is Jim. Anybody there?
Hi, Jim. Hi.
Hi, who's this?
My name is Maddie.
Maddie? Hi, Maddie. Can you tell us your story? What's going on?
Well, I'm sorry. I have to leave the room because there's a little noisy in here.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm
nice
sorry. What
music.
did you say? I just tuned in, and I know was it Lady Fontaine?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I saw the topic that you talked about energy.
Yes.
Yeah, but like I said, I just tuned in, so I really, I don't know if you're doing a dialogue, picking up energy around people, or what.
Oh, are you looking for some healing? Is that the idea?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Well, we have a few people that could probably give you a hand on the online right now.
So Pete, is Pete still around?
Pete, you still there?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm turning this one over to you.